There's nothing wrong with your human desires, and I wanted to make this video because in my past 2 videos I've been talking about creating from your soul and how when you get in tune with your soul, you don't need anything outside of yourself to prove to you your inherent abundance, your inherent worthiness. Okay, and I feel like in the spiritual community, this can get very confused into believing that our desires are shameful, and this is just not the case. This is not true. There is absolutely nothing wrong with our human desires for money, with our human desires for a nice house or for a good car or for money. There's nothing wrong with this. What I'm trying to express through these videos is that we should not lead through this desire. We should not lead with our human desires. We should lead with our higher self and with our heart. But when you come into deep communion and connection with your higher self, let me wipe my camera. That's better. When you come into deep communion and connection with your higher self and you're merging your ego with it, the two shall become one. You come into this vulnerable space with yourself and you vulnerably open up to yourself about your true desires. You vulnerably express your desires and your needs to yourself. You know yourself on such a deep level and you trust yourself on such a deep level that you're able to create this sacred space within where you can say to yourself, I want to be supported in this lifetime. I want to feel supported from all areas. I want to serve God, but in my service to God, I do not want to struggle. In my service to God, I want to be taken care of. I want to experience luxury in this lifetime. I want to experience riches. I want to experience the fruits of my labor. And when you enter into this vulnerable, deep space with yourself and you're able to express your desires, but not allow them to control you, you come into this beautiful balance, this beautiful union where there's an equal amount of surrender and communication with yourself. You surrender to what is. You understand that what is, if it's not reflecting back abundance or worthiness to you, you understand that it does not mean anything about you. You understand that it is coming from an old version of yourself that did not know its worthiness, an old version of yourself that manifested a reality to reflect back to it where it was feeling lack, so that you could be awoken to the abundance that exists within you. But when you find that abundance within you, you no longer need your external reality to reflect lack back to you, because you understood the assignment. You found the inner sense of abundance. And so now your reality will begin to reflect back to you abundance, because you found what the lack was trying to show you. And there are so many past lifetimes where we have sworn vows of poverty, because as spiritual beings, we believed the riches, the money to be evil. But the money is not evil. Luxury is not evil. It's neutral. And we place value. We place perception onto it. And so if you're still viewing money or luxury to be evil, you're going to continue to push it away. When you continue to view your human desires as evil, you're going to continue to push them away from yourself. But when you can be open and honest with yourself about what you actually want, what you actually desire out of this lifetime, miracles will begin to unfold. And when you can couple the two, the deep surrender to the physical reality in understanding that it doesn't actually mean anything about you, it's just a simple reflection of your belief system. When you can surrender to that and work in union with your reality to co-create while simultaneously, knowing yourself deep enough to understand your desires, to understand what you want, then this beautiful life begins to appear before your eyes. You're no longer in resistance to your human desires, but you're also no longer in resistance to your external reality. Okay, so I am in no way saying that you don't deserve your desires or that you shouldn't receive your desires. I'm saying you should not lead from this place of desire. You should not lead. Your actions should not be because I'm doing this to get a bigger house. I'm doing this to get more money. I'm doing this to go on a shopping spree or whatever. You should not be leading through those desires. You should know that those desires are there, and you should be able to hold those desires with loving compassion for yourself, with wanting to gift yourself because of how much you love yourself. You want to gift yourself these things, but you have enough spiritual maturity to not lead through these desires. You lead through your heart. You lead with your service to God, or whatever you call it, source, unconditional love, freedom, whatever it is that is charging you forward in your leadership, whatever you call that, whatever. So you're leading from that space of spiritual or serving God, but you're not denying what you want, what you desire in your human form. You're merging the two. Okay? Like, for example, I'll share this. I had this deep conversation with myself this morning. I was reflecting on what it is I really want out of this lifetime, I don't want to struggle anymore. I don't want to have all of these vows to poverty because we think it's spiritual to be poor or to have less than and to prove, see, I don't need the money. That's how spiritual I am, that I don't need money. I don't want to live like that. I want to be provided for by God. I want to be provided for by my higher self, because it is my inherent right. It is my birthright to be provided for. And in return, in this relationship of give and receive, I will serve God. I will lead with my heart. I will lead with service to humanity. But I don't want to be struggling in my life at the same time. I want to be provided for. My desire is to travel and to experience this earth, to experience the riches and the fruit of this earth. That is my truth of what my human wants to experience. My human wants to travel. My human wants to experience luxury. My human wants to eat the fruits of this earth, and there is nothing wrong with that. And when you can be honest with yourself about these things, you'll no longer be leading from lack of these things, because you're coming into union with the part of yourself that wants to give you these things, the part of yourself that honors the work that you're doing on this planet so deeply that it wants to provide you with the life you desire. The part of you that is in service to God, the part of you that is in service to humanity, that is in service to unconditional love, also wants to provide you with your greatest and deepest desires in this lifetime. And so if you can hold the knowing that you don't need these things to feel worthy, you don't need these things to know you're abundant, you don't need these things to prove anything to you, you get to experience them all because you've surrendered. You've surrendered everything. You've surrendered your need to create these things. You don't need to create these things, but you desire to create these experiences in your life. And because you are the embodiment of abundance and unconditional love and compassion, you are going to now co-create these experiences for yourself while simultaneously being in service to a higher power. Being in service to a higher power does not mean that you now have vows to poverty, or that you now have vows to being single forever, because you don't need a counterpart to prove that you're worthy. Okay, yeah, you don't need one, but if you want one, there's nothing wrong with that. If that is your true human desire to have love in this lifetime, there is nothing shameful about that. But you should not be moving through your day, acting through your day in order to get that because you want it to prove it to you. You're like, gimme, gimme, gimme. That's not the energy. The energy is moving through life with this inherent sense of worthiness. And so you're sovereign, you're acting from a sovereign place. And then all of these things begin to be co-created in your reality for you to experience, because you were honest and vulnerable enough with yourself to ask for these things. Not because you need them, but because you desire to experience them. That's different. I just wanted to come on and clear that up. I'm not in any way saying that you can't be in service to God and not have your desires. You get to have it all. You get to have it all. You are so loved by the divine, you get to have it all. And when you open up to this, it is your joy to be in service to God. It doesn't feel like something that you have to do in order to get what you want for your ego. It is your greatest joy to be of service to God. And it is also your greatest joy to gift yourself your human desires in this lifetime. You get to have both. You get to have both. You deserve it all. You deserve everything. You deserve your wildest imaginations, but this is where surrendering is so important, because our ego still thinks small. And when we can choose to surrender all of our egoic wants and desires, yes, be open and honest about them, but surrender in knowing that you don't need them, then you are giving space for God to surprise you, to wow you, to gift you something that is beyond your wildest imaginations. So when we release our desires, when we open up from a vulnerable space and voice them, but then surrender to them, saying, this is what I would love to have, but I'm not attached to it. So then you surrender. You're opening up space for God to wow you. You're leaving space to receive something that's even better than your ego could even possibly imagine. Okay? So this is not a life of struggle, but being in service to God. That's not what this path is about. You get to have it all. You get to have it all. You get to have it all. I love you. You deserve the world. You are so loved. You deserve the world. Not from an egoic place, from a humble, surrendered space. Okay? I love you.